All right, let's get into our first major discussion for the day. Nigeria's anti-corruption war has been taken to a whole new level with the involvement of youth and kids in the anti-corruption campaign.
Indeed, well, as corrupt individuals continue to fashion out creative ways of committing fraud, Nigeria's anti-corruption agency, that's the EFCC, must also invent and employ creative methods in apprehending them. Well, the partnership between the EFCC and the Creative Youth Initiative Against Corruption is one of such creative anti-corruption mechanisms.
Now, the CYIAC, as it is called, a corruption preventive initiative of the EFCC, kicked off in October 2016 and is committed to lead change in children and youth by eradicating corruption through character and skill development for the positive advancement of Nigeria. And now we have joining us the project director of the EFCC Creative Youth Initiative Against Corruption, Foluke Michael. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's nice to have you join us right now.
Thank you so much.
Now, Nigerians have often talked about corruption, and the cliche of corruption has eaten deep into the fabrics of Nigeria. All these things are there. Exactly. Corruption fighting back and all of that. But talking about this initiative, what really gave rise to an initiative like this?
Our philosophy comes from don't talk, just act.
Okay.
Don't talk, just act. We've seen a lot, not only in Nigeria, but it's a big global challenge. And we need to take a local responsibility to solve global challenge. And you know, the sector of Nigerian economy, I call them children and youth, they have the solution, but they've been neglected for so long. They're not even involved in policy making, in taking decision. Creative Youth Initiative Against Corruption is a platform for children and youth to come together and say no to corruption through educational and creative development.
All right, now, the Nigerian children are a product of the perceived corrupt society of Nigeria.
Right.
The perceived. So how receptive have the kids you've been working with been, you know, starting with them, how they've been able to change their mindset on the need to fight corruption?
The truth is, a child of 8, between 8 and 12, as a parent, you probably think they know nothing. Oh, they probably come to you and say, like, I have a solution to help President Buhari to solve the corruption problem. You say, shut up. You do not know. And we have been able to see children and youth between the ages of 8 and 14 telling us solution in creative ways. They have received it so well that it's very unimaginable. We have seen them bringing up the problems abstractly on papers. And we have seen the link between the problem and the solution. These are all creatively done. We have paintings, we have literary art, we have medium of information technology to show the world that they've got solution and they are ready to fight corruption to a standstill. We don't want this generation to continue. There must be a new Nigeria. We are ambassadors of a new Nigeria. As a matter of fact, the project Nigeria is our project. We don't want to see Nigeria in the next 10 years going through what Nigeria is going through. So we're bringing up the crop of children and youth that will take the leadership, that will lead change in the future. But how do they lead change with this passive corruption? We need to put into their hand tools. A child that is empowered from age 8 to 12, from age 14 to 25, knows how to make money. And everybody is born to do one thing in life, just one. And we have kids, youth that are multi-talented. They have what it takes to be entrepreneur and change the world. So we're empowering them through capacity building to train what they are born to do. We're training them to be trainers also. Why is there leading change? They want a tool that will empower them to have what it takes. So by the time they're 25, they already have what it is. And yet, corruption is the medium to train them on their creativity.
All right, talk to us. How do you recruit the youth and children who will be involved in this initiative? How do you engage them from the first point to making them active, to making them that conscious about corruption?
We have been working with children on the platform of Vision of a Child for the past 6 years. Up till date, we have over 4,000 children and youth on our database. Okay. So it's no longer new. And in 2013, there was a topic that was given to these children by Professor Wole Soyinka, 1,001 Faces of Corruption, which was well treated in painting form and in written form. Now, this particular edition gave birth to Creative Youth Initiative Against Corruption. So they've been in it, right in Lagos State. And we have worked with over 2,000 schools. So it's not new. So what we do is to open registration, it's open to public and private school, primary and secondary school. And now we have included the tertiary institutions between the ages of 9 and 25. So they go online, register, and of course, everyone is entitled to interview. We interview, they go through 3 stages of selection exercise, and we come up with about 30, 50 at the end of the exercise. It takes 4 months program. And you know, because we work with stakeholders, I mean the educators, the school owners, the teachers, our topic becomes their topic in school. So all the kids are carried along from the beginning. For instance, last year, our topic was My New Nigeria, Free from Corruption. And we give them free hand. Express yourself. Tell the world about your old Nigeria, the transition between the old Nigeria and the new Nigeria, and the solution. We have them. As of today, we have 30 fantastic situations of Nigeria with solution of what they want to see in the future. Okay. So this is our
all right. We understand you're in partnership with the EFCC.
Yes.
And how, of course, yes. So how has this been able to help the agency, the anti-corruption agency, carry out its duties more effectively?
Great. The CYIAC is an initiative of EFCC. Enforcement is not enough in Nigeria. I mean, if I send you a letter and you see EFCC, the perception in Nigeria is EFCC. I did that last year. We're distributing invitation cards to people to attend our award night, and they didn't read for 1-2 days. And when they finally have the nerve to read from EFCC, oh, it's Foluke, and I got calls, you want to kill me? These people are not owing. No, we don't have to have an EFCC that is terrifying. This is the friendly version of EFCC. Okay. This is the preventive side of EFCC. Enforcement, yeah, billions of naira be spent to enforce the law. Judiciary, what are they doing about all of this? They rush into the court. The corruptor has more money, and the corruptor goes out free with all the money to enforce the law. What about prevention? You know, Nigeria is not spending money on the future of Nigeria. The government of this nation, really, they don't understand long-term plan. We have near term, we have short term, we have long term. We should invest into long term. Even if a president is spending 4 years, you need to plan 10 years, which is long term plan. Without the long term plan, we can never kill corruption. So the preventive aspect is helping EFCC to reach out to children, youth, I mean, let them realize, the future leader, because we need the leaders that will say no to this generation of what do we call them? They're corruptors. We call them corruptors. We need this generation to be swept over. We need new generation that will lead this great nation into that land of blessing. This nation is actually very blessed.
All right. It's good to know you said you have over 4,000 young people in your database already in Lagos. Now, Lagos is just a small portion of the entire country, and corruption is everywhere. It's not just in Lagos and all of that. So what's the plan or template of getting other people involved from, say, Benue State or from Sokoto State or from Akwa Ibom State, and as the case may be?
The Nigerian project was opened in December 1, 2016. It took us 7 months to plan our strategy on how to reach out to the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Finally, on November 15, we have declared open the Creative Challenge for the nation. We are involving all schools. We are involving primary, secondary. We have our recruiters. We have our volunteers on the ground, and we are using digital communication to reach out to all school. When I say all school, I mean all school. This creative challenge is being declared open online. We're not going to have physical forms. Everyone, and that is why CYIAC opened an app last week. The app is called CYIAC app on Google Store. We want a solution whereby a parent in the north can actually open the phone and register. We have done it in such a way that you don't need a computer. We have over 100 million phone users in Nigeria. And all we need, a cousin, a brother, a parent, someone must have a phone in your family. And that access has to be given. And we're also trying to partner with some communication company to see how we can use their center as a registration center and a virtual interview center so that we don't have to be everywhere in the country. The Creative Youth Initiative Against Corruption is actually leveraging on information technology to make this happen. We know we can't be everywhere. Nigeria is very big, but a child in Benue and another one in Badagry, they have all this situation. We have the same situation and they have solution. We want active participation. We're writing to schools through the EFCC. We're writing to school through the Federal Ministry of Information has joined this team now, and this makes it really beautiful. The jingles is going to start all over the country. The federal government through the Federal Ministry of Information is going to take this information to every state in federation. In fact, a letter has been written to the Honorable Minister to see how this can be discussed at FEC, so that all governors, they should be able to create center. We need solution in this nation. It is not a fight for EFCC alone. It is not a fight for Foluke and CYIAC or our team. It is a fight for the entire country. So we're taking it by our hand. We're not just talking. Talk is so cheap. What happened after the talk? Seminars, conferences, what are the take home? After the conference, spend so much million on them. What are the take home? What are the strategy for the next 1 year? So this is what we're doing.
Okay, earlier you said that there is need for the corruptors, as you tagged them, to be swept away so that new incorruptible leaders in Nigeria would emerge eventually. But then the reality is these children, even after their training, will still have to grow in this same system. And they need, of course, many years before they emerge as leaders of the country. So will there be a period, or are there periodic trainings, yes, to make these children not to forget what they've learned and let them understand that they cannot say yes to corruption? Or is it just going to, will it be a once-off training or seminar anytime you engage new kids?
We have a 4 years plan. And after the 4 years, we're going to open another 4 years. It's going to be every 4 years. On December 9, we're releasing a buster to the world. On December 9 is the United Nations International Anti-Corruption Day. And we're telling the world, like I said earlier, it's a global challenge, but Nigeria's situation is very peculiar. You remember, Nigeria being fantastically corrupt. So we don't want to say that because it's a global challenge, you are ignoring our local community. Our local community in Nigeria will believe in this country. So the Corruption Busters is going to be open at the Film House Cinema Lekki on December 9. We have invented the paintings, the literary art presentation of this fantastic Nigerian style with solution. You can only see those things if we come to our gallery, for instance, but we want to make our gallery available for everyone in the world. Our Corruption Busters is the first innovation in the world when a storyline that is pertaining to a painting is told in another format that everybody in this world can relate with. I'm not going to tell you the medium, it's a surprise. But join us on December 9 and see Corruption Busters.
Surprises are good, we all like surprises. But let's take it beyond the use of symbolisms, the use of themes, the use of slogans, use of symbols, as the case may be. Because making young people to understand what all of these things are, to translate them into a symbolism or a drawing or a song or a slogan is beautiful. Yeah. But how is that going to translate into the real world? Now, corruption is everywhere, every day, in the banks or in the political office or even in the home and all of that. There's corruption that permeates everywhere. It's about human behavior and human character. So how will the knowledge of all of these things in the children that make them draw, that make them sing, that make them act, and make them, you know, draw symbols, how will it translate into impacting the real office, either in the bank or in the political office, as the case may be?
Okay. Like I told you, the bus that we're releasing, it's going to the private sector will relate with it. The governmental institutions are going to relate with it. We're going to be busting banks. We're going to be busting governmental institutions. We're going to be busting every facet of this country in the next 4 years. If you are a corruptor, we can't take you to the court because we are CYIAC. We're leading change in children and youth. But we have our own means of doing that. In one institution whereby a child, mind you, corruption is not just a governmental thing. It's individual thing. There are so many things that happen on our everyday's life that we don't even know that we're corrupt. This is a platform to tell daddy and mommy that this is not good, and we're using our soldiers. Our soldiers are going to be everywhere at the end of the day. And these are soldiers are called integrity ambassador. Where I've had a child coming to me and telling me that the money that was given to me was spent by my mother to buy cosmetic, and she said that, oh, is this the money that my father has been spending on you since you were born? And that was brought to us. We call the parent to order that we can't be leading change in these children and you're corrupt at home. Look, they have voices. Now they have a platform for their voices to be heard. So this is translated into going to the bank. In some of our series, they are educational series, mind you, that will be downloaded in our schools. We are making them available worldwide free of charge. So in the classroom, there is corruption buster. No, let us say no to cartoon. Yes to culture of integrity. So we're bringing the culture of integrity to Aso Rock. We're bringing it to ministers. We're bringing it to the governors. Nigeria should welcome us because we are here to stay. We're bringing it to the banks. We know different, in fact, the children and youth has problems that they've identified in different sectors of Nigerian economy. Imagine you wake up and you're seeing a buster on your TV and the character there is one of the corruptors. And the name of the corruptor is Lady O. Lady O knows herself. Society knows who Lady O is. But we haven't mentioned the name of the corruptor. So you are afraid not to be busted. Because once we bust you, you are all over the world. We need to build a culture of integrity in such a way that discipline is nailed to the ground.
All right, so the purpose is to take anti-corruption messages to households nationwide.
That's it.
All right, thank you very much for your analysis at this time. Foluke Michael, you are the Project Director of EFCC Creative Youth Initiative Against Corruption. Thank you for coming.
Thanks.